Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. I want to do a story about what's going on over in Europe right now, about rate hikes, and we're going to tie them into the Fed rate hike. This is out of the Hedge. I'm going to link it in the story below, or in the video description. Too bad I don't edit. We're going to link that story in the description below. So it's entitled "The Pound Surges After Bank of England Ends Quantitative Easing, Raises Rates to Half of 1%, with 4 voting hikes for 50 basis points." Okay, so stop that, reverse it. It's early in the morning. I haven't had my coffee yet. So this is actually quite historic, guys, and I think it's very important, and I believe it is the slow train wreck that we're seeing, but it's actually accelerating right now as we head into March with the Federal Reserve rate hikes, because I quite frankly believe, and this isn't trading advice, I believe this is going to spell complete doom and disaster, and that is being doom and gloom right now, okay? The economics do not work for rate hikes right now. The economy is way too fragile. There is way too much debt that's been put out there in the last, especially 2 years. Companies and people cannot service those debts at higher interest rates. Okay, so I'm not going to mix words right now. This is doom and gloom, but is it going to happen right away? I don't believe so, but it is accelerating. So here we go. The Bank of England has continued its rate liftoff, announcing moments ago that it is hiking rates 25 basis points, which is 1/4%, to now a total of 0.5%. Okay, so before this started, they were already at 1/4%. It was as expected and has officially began to unwind QE. However, in a major hawkish surprise, 4 policymakers, Haskell, Mann, Ramsden, and Saunders, voted to hike it as much as between 0.5% and 0.75%, an increase that has not been seen since the bank gained independence in 1997. That is absolutely massive. Now, I've talked about this before, that the proposed rate hike of 50 basis points in the U.S. through the Federal Reserve would be the highest one-time rate hike in the past 20 years. So you could see the historical mean right here. Like, they are trying very hard to bring any kind of value to the currency, both the pound and the US dollar. However, I want people to understand that is why the stock market has been absolutely puking in this last month. To give you an idea of how bad that is, in the last month, the S&P has lost the same percentage that it lost in January of 2009, when everything was melting down for like 4 months after Lehman Brothers had collapsed and we are entering the Great Recession, okay? So this last month, we have seen massive losses in the stocks, okay? And it is because of these rate hikes. Professional traders know that Main Street USA cannot afford these rate hikes, okay? But right now, all of the world's currencies are falling, collapsing in value, and the reason you know it, because you can't tell by looking at the Forex market. I apologize. It's because they're all falling together, okay? So when you're looking at a percentage, like, oh, look at the dollar, hasn't really lost any value to this currency, it's because they're all crashing, right? Now, we have certain anomalies where we have the Turkish lira, we have Cuba going through a crisis right now, but we also have the dollar-euro trade that is starting to slip, right? And that's very telling. But I want people to understand, this cannot stay. Now, as of right now, the 0.5 point threat is a threat as far as the pound, the Bank of England goes, and as far as the Federal Reserve go, but it is telling because you see these Fed governors, these bank governors start to show, hey, we're ready to do this. Let's take it out. Let's crush it. And it is going to crush something, that is for sure. So another thing I wanted to point out is down here. The BOE also signaled the start of a new era for the 895 billion pounds worth of bond holdings that it has amassed over the past decade under quantitative easing, and unanimously voted to begin the process of shrinking the balance sheet by ceasing to reinvest maturing assets. Okay, let's backtrack that right now. This $895 billion in bonds was built up in the past decade, okay? So now all of a sudden, while we have huge unemployment issues around the world, this is the time right? Yeah, we have a massive supply chain issue. Yeah, this is the time. Why? Because inflation is increasing. That's how you know all of the currencies are collapsing. Inflation is going up all over the world. This is why it's super exciting to be invested in things that people aren't paying attention to right now, just like in the late 70s, like gold and silver. It's not financial advice. It's what I'm doing. I want to be ahead of the curve. Like when I was in cryptocurrency, a lot of years before, many people started finally getting in, and still to this day, it still is such, in my opinion, not financial training advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a dude with a bro hawk, a dream, and no coffee right now. I believe it's still undervalued because the market could get bigger. Does it mean it could crash at any moment too? Yes, it sure could, because that's what happens when we hit crazy town, guys. Things start going up and down. So I wanted to link this story in the description below for you guys to go over. I don't want to read it to you. It's not bedtime. Some of you guys have just gotten to work and hopefully gotten coffee in your hand, unlike me. But I think it's very telling. Banks around the world are saying, we're ready to do this. And it's literally like putting a loaded fire, to the head of the stock market. Have to talk in sort of weird lingo. I apologize, guys. But these are the facts. And it is such an exciting time to be alive, because why? When things go crazy, there are opportunities. And guys, there are more opportunities to make money in bad times than in good. With that being said, guys, if you've been watching the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like this stuff, if you think I need a coffee right now, hit the subscribe button. If you really think I need the coffee, hit the subscribe button. I guess the point is just hit the subscribe button. Oh my gosh, that's such a shameless plug. I need coffee. I hope you guys have a great day. Guys, Ninja Nation is strong. Why? Because Ninja Nation is prepared, not scared. With that being said, guys, the Economic Ninja is out.